and welcome to something a bit different here on Overcord Gaming. Right now, we're in between roleplay and Iosalt episodes. We're waiting for the new version of the Iosalt map, and a new season of roleplay is taking over from the previous stories on Balin Creek. So today, I'm starting something a little bit different. Here's our truck. As you can see, we're using US dollars. We are in the States. I have a truck and I have a small plot of land because we are going to be setting up a contracting business. So we're not going to be running a farm in this series. We are simply going to be doing farm work for others. So I'm on the Pacific Northwest map. However, the idea behind the Contractor series here is that we can do different types of contracts, including some that I effectively make up. We will do some of the standard in-game contracts on this map, and possibly a couple of other maps that are sort of in line with or in tune with this area of the Pacific area. So I think, for example, Lone Oak is set in Oregon, if I'm not much mistaken. So we could do contracts on there, and we might even bring in a forestry map as well. But right now, I am on my way down to the little area that we have for our contracting business. Well, it's actually not that little, but it's a pretty modest start here. All the equipment we own is our blue truck here, and obviously we gotta get in some machinery, so we are able to start doing some contracts to begin with, certainly on this map, and then in any future episodes we might branch out to different areas. But we're just gonna head down and have a little look at what we got. We're basically coming to the site. So this little parking lot here, and then the quite large fenced off area in between, that is our contractor's yard. There's not much in it yet. I have placed a couple of buildings in addition to the 500,000, just to give us sort of a little bit of a start. So here we are. We got our sort of set of container offices, and we got a building where we can put some machinery in, but it's also set up as a garage to be able to service vehicles and so forth. So I'll just hop out of the truck, and we can start by heading up and having a little look at our containerized modular office here, where there's also some accommodation space for workers and such like further in. But yeah, here we are, Farming Simulator 19. Nice little tea kitchen, water cooler, everything, sofa, and we have a sleep trigger in here so we can skip nights, which, if the weather keeps up like this, we might have to. But yeah, and then we'll say the rest of the building here is basically the accommodation for potential workers in the future. But right now, it's just me getting started. We got a little bit of dry space in under here. We can probably use that as a sort of miniature storage yard if we need to bring in some seed pallets or something like that, because we are running seasons. So I reckon that the first kind of contracts here in early spring is mainly going to be groundwork. So it's going to be cultivating, plowing, and some fertilizer work. So here's our shed. It's not massive, but it's pretty decent, and it's got good workshop facilities. Obviously, right here we can't really get machinery in because well, we got the booms here, but we got a couple of spaces over here, and we can shunt things in. And then obviously, as we make money, the idea is that we start utilizing more of this yard, get some additional machine holes in where we can keep our machinery dry and warm. And as you can see, we got plenty of space. But obviously, when working as a contractor, we can't just buy the smallest and simplest equipment. You know, people expect us to get a job done in a fair amount of time. So we actually passed the machinery shop on the way down here. So I'm actually gonna hop back in the truck. We're gonna head up and we're gonna invest in our first tractor. And I'm gonna have a little look around, see what contracts there are, and then we're either gonna get probably a cultivator or a plow to begin with, so we can get out on our very first job here in the Pacific Northwest. So we have arrived at the dealership. We better go in and have a look. I had thought about whether we should try and start like really small and simple, but to be honest, like I said, when people hire contractors, they do expect somebody with a decent amount of capacity and be able to wrap the job up in a decent amount of time. So we only have 500,000, so we are going to have to balance it a little bit, but we're not going to go for sort of very, very small equipment, that's for sure. Whew, there goes a lot of our money. Over half, in fact. I've just spent over $300,000. So we better go and have a look at what the story is, and we've got a lot of work. Anyway, here is a brand spanking new Case Optim 300 CVX. We have fitted GPS onto it. It is the top tuned engine. We got white tires with wheel weights, and then I have invested in this lovely Horse Tiger ripper as well. There's a lot of call for cultivating work in the area right now, so we're gonna get this hooked up. And although I got my car parked up here, the dealership didn't seem to mind. They still got free parking all over the place, so we're okay to leave our car there because we are going to be heading straight out for a contract. So we'll just have a look inside. It is a nicely laid out cab here. It's looking good. Better get her spun up. Obviously it's a wet day and I am playing with the REA mod, so that Tiger cultivator demands 300 horsepower and we are at 313. So I hope we'll manage in these wet conditions, but I guess we're going to find out, because we're going to get a hookup. Then we're going to see what our first contract here on the Pacific Northwest is going to be. So there's a lot of cultivating jobs offering up, but we got one right here at the top pretty much, 3,318. I think that's not too bad. Field 25. We are going to go for it, so you can see it's some fairly large equipment being offered up. So it might take us a little bit longer with our own equipment, but that's one thing I perhaps didn't mention at the beginning, but the plan is we never borrow equipment. This contracting business will only work off the equipment that we actually have in our yard, and those are the kind of contracts that we'll be able to do, or we'll have to buy in the machinery. But now I just gotta figure out how we get over to Field 25. Let's have a quick look at the map. So we kind of gotta go over the bridge, and our contractor yard is just down here to the south, so it's actually not too far from there. It's just over on the other side of the road. We better get cracking. It is 9:30 in the morning, and it could take us a pretty decent part of the day to get this job done. I better put some hazards on. This is a fairly large machine to be swinging around in here, and we'll get on our way over to the field. Well, I think we found our place for lunch. Uncle Pete's Excellent Diner is right here on the corner, not too far from where we're going to be working. So I should have packed a lunchbox, but obviously it's a brand new tractor. It's the first day of our business. Oh, some nice boats down here as well. But let's see if we can find the right field. It should be the last one over here. I think we might have to turn in here. Let's see. Yeah, and then down this way a bit, and that should be it. right at the end here. So better get unfolded. Get our tiger ready to roll here, and because this is a nice straight field, I reckon we can get our AB line set up more or less right away. As we get going here, sink in, and we'll get going. So we are underway. We've got the GPS set up now, and our first field is in progress. Right, we're almost there. Just this and a tiny wee strip left to go here. And then we'll be done with our first contracting job. There is already another one lined up. It's up the hill, further up the map. This map is kind of almost split into, we got the sort of low-lying land here with the larger fields, and then there's a collection of fields further up we have to cross over the bridge. So I'm going to be heading up there after completing this one. But one of the benefits of sitting here in the tractor working away is you got a bit of time to think about things, about what our next steps are going to be. Obviously we don't have a ton of money, but I'm quite convinced that we definitely need a fertilizer spreader, and we're going to need a tractor with a front loader, just a smaller one. It doesn't have to be a massive one, but we need something with lifting capability to be able to bring either bags of fertilizer or lime. We might need some kind of flatbed trailer to transport it on. And yeah, while I've been sitting here driving, I think I have found a spreader trailer. Oh, there we go. We've actually met the contractual requirements, but since it's our first job, I'll take us down to the end here, and we'll leave a tiny little strip there on the side, but we'll finish this off just to make it tidy. So I found a spreader that will do both fertilizer and lime, and it'll actually do manure as well at a push, but certainly to begin with, we can use it for potential lime and fertilizing. There's still some time left where the key jobs are going to basically be cultivating and plowing. I might try and get a couple done in between episodes as well, just so that the bank account doesn't go completely red. I mentioned earlier that we might include other maps, as well at some point, so that we get contract jobs that are a little bit further afield. And that's absolutely true. However, before we can do that, we will need to be able to afford some kind of transport. So we're actually going to have to probably get a truck with a flatbed to be able to load the machinery up onto it, or we're going to have to accept the cost of driving tractors quite a long distance. But let's see. I just pull over here and check and see if we can get our payment for the first job. So there we are, our first $3,318 in the bank. And the next one that I mentioned is this field 1 that we're going to go up and cultivate now. We're going to use our own equipment. That's sort of the whole idea behind this. So we'll just have a look at the map. So you can see we're down here on field 25, so it's a bit of a hike up. We can actually cross over the river up here, although it looks like a bit of a small windy track, and then we gotta find our way all the way up to the northern part of the map. I'm not actually quite sure. It looks like this little back road from the silos that goes out towards field 1. So it's going to be a little bit of an exploration trip, but it'll give us an opportunity to have a little bit of a look at the map. There's some quite steep hills around here and bridges, so we do need some machinery that can actually pull these jobs. But it looks nice as well. Right, so we found the track up to field 1 now. Everything's quite steep around here, but I like it. It's a good challenge. It's certainly going to make us think about how we approach the fields. Now we just have to make sure there are no trains approaching just as we cross over here. Oh, here's another really nice open yard area. So if we ever get really big in contracting, we could have a second yard up here maybe. But today we are here to do the work on this field and on the right. And we'll start up from this end, I think, and we'll get an idea of the lay of the land. We'll get our GPS switched back on and set some relatively simple AB lines here to run down the edge of the field, I think. So we got a nice AB line going here on the field. It looks to be a little bit bigger than the last one, so it's gonna take us a good part of the rest of today to get this field finished. But it's certainly a different view up here, and a slightly more rolling landscape, more trees. There might be an opportunity to do some logging work up here at a later stage. So here we are, almost at the end of another successful contract. We've been going at it for a couple of hours now, in real time, in terms of running contracts. So we're running a standard 9-day season. So broadly speaking, if you were to convert that to realism, I reckon, so each season is roughly 3 months or 90 days, and we run with a 9-day season, so you're roughly talking about a factor of 10. So our 2 hours of field work roughly corresponds to a 20-hour working day. Might be a little bit fetched, but under all circumstances, I think once we wrap this contract up here, there will be more during this day, but I will wrap up the episode here, since we are just in cultivating right now, because that is the machinery. So it does say contract on field 1 is finished now, and I don't know, I'm still, we're new contractor. Oh dear, it's a bit steep here, but we are new contractors who want to put a bit of pride in our work, and want to finish up this last strip here just to make it look tidy. I know it doesn't make a difference in game terms, but I'm going to do a proper job here. So let's just get lined up for this last strip. So once we finish up this field, I will take the tractor down to our yard, and then I will look at other contracts when it comes to it, for the rest of this day. But I think this has been a good start to our contracting career here on the Pacific Northwest. Like I said, we might be branching out to other maps in the future, but to begin with, there is plenty to keep us busy here. There's a wide selection of fields. There were apparently some farmers who have other jobs for us, like manure spreading and such like, in future episodes. As I said before, let me know what you think, whether you like the idea of having a series that's just focused around contractors, getting the right type of equipment in to be able to keep up and make some money. I kind of like the idea, but it's also up to you what you think. It's not going to take time away from any of the existing series on the channel. It will be a little bit of bonus content now and then when I have some time to do it. Well, neither the tractor nor the cultivator are particularly clean anymore, but we have now reached the end proper of our contract here. Oh, it sounds like there's the train coming through, just as we're heading back down the road again. But we better make sure we check with the owner of the field, everything's good, and see if we can cash our contract in. So yeah, another $2,084. So that's good. As you can see, cultivating, plowing, some transport stuff, which we could do once we get a front loader as well. I can knock out another couple of cultivating ones, but I will spare you having to watch all of them. That would start getting a little bit tedious, obviously. We have a bit of a drive back to the yard right now. There are plenty of farms, there are plenty of fields, there are plenty of opportunities for a fresh young contractor with a nice big space for a yard. Our biggest challenge is going to be see if we can make enough money to fill that yard up with some good machinery to keep us going. Next episode, I reckon we're going to be trying something a little bit different. It might be that we're simply moving on to fertilizing and such like. Alternatively, we might be asked to do a little bit of light logging or something like that to see how we get on. See, I really like this map. There's lots of places where you can put down your own buildings and routes. So we obviously chose a yard sort of down one end of the map, but there are plenty of opportunities around here. I really do like that. But we are going to be heading down a very steep hill and a couple of hairpin turns here, so I better concentrate. So we're almost back now, and I think we made a good start. We obviously spent an absolute ton of money today compared to what we made. We spent about $310,000, and so far today we've made about 5,000. So it's a long route back, but we will get there. Home sweet home, as we will be calling this yard for a good while. So we are going to be heading back out again, so there's not much point in parking the machinery up right now. I would like, and I think we are going to have to buy ourselves a pressure washer, because we want to head out on jobs. Whoop, I left the beacons on as usual, but we want to look half decent, half professional when we are heading out on jobs. So I think we need to get ourselves a bit of a pressure washer. There we go. We have a pressure washer. We'll finish off today's episode by giving this tractor a bit of a clean, because it's needing it already. So thank you very much for watching. While I park up, give it a wash, grab some lunch before the next set of contracts. Let me know what you think about Pacific contracts. But thank you very much for watching from Overcord Gaming, and see you again soon.